What's up, peeps? It's the ever important update that has just been released, and I'm going to go over a few of the finer points. There's a ton of them, so if you're interested in seeing all of them, make sure you go to the battle log or check them out for yourself. But the first thing I'm going to start off with, which is probably the most important to me at least, is the weapon balancing. It looks like they've done quite a bit to the weapons and the gadgets. So let me start there. First of all, they have the light machine guns, which were less attractive than other weapon classes. Have been have They have given them various forms of adjustments to make them more viable mid-range weapons. They increased the LMG and the SLR bullet suppression at medium range. They increased aim accuracy of support machine guns. They decreased the Lewis first shot recoil multiplier. They decreased the Hoyt first shot recoil multiplier. They increased the bar, which happened to be the one that everybody seemed to want to go to. They increased their horizontal recoil. The low weight machine guns now also gain accuracy faster during fire. They added bipods to the low weight machine guns. They reduced the effect of recoil direction slightly and made it scale correctly with recoil modifiers like bipods. Adjust accuracy values of SMGs and LMGs and customized to better represent differences. The Hell Regal now overheats a little bit slower and has an increased horizontal recoil. They slightly reduced the MLE 1903 reload time. They reduced deploy time of the MLE 1903 and the M1912 and sped up the deploy animation for a higher energy feel. They slightly reduced the rate of fire of the Russian 1995 infantry and sniper and made the time when you can fire again more reliable. You can change. They changed the damage multipliers for buckshots to be more consistent to eliminate the unintentionally high and unintentionally low damage hits. Some of the balanced gadgets, what they did to them is the limpet mines are now indestructible until they detonate. This prevents other players from stealing the limpet mine with explosives. The limpet mine is intended to be a timed detonation only. I'm reading right off their website, so if you guys have an issue with this, it's what they're writing down. So they increased the number of magazines for gas and incendiary tripwire bombs to 2 to make them more attractive over the high explosive tripwire bombs. Mortars have had a balance pass. Players now have to pick more clearly between slow, accurate fire and rapid, inaccurate fire. To go along with that, mortars now require a time after deploy before they are fully accurate. They increased the inaccuracy penalty for firing multiple mortar rounds quickly. They reduced the max damage radius of support airburst mortars. Mortars will need to land closer to do their full 65 damage. The minimap targeting function of mortars now shows the current accuracy level of the strike. The red dot only appears when the strike is at maximum accuracy. Both support mortars can now fire 2 smoke rounds in addition to their default round. A hint has been added to explain the future. The high explosive mortar now correctly has the same range as the airburst mortar. Rifle grenades have a delay after firing. The frag grenade decreased time until explosion after collision from 1.1 to 0.7 seconds. They added a minimum time of 1 second before it can explode after firing and reduced collision speed multiplier from 0.15 to 0.12 to make it bounce a little less. The high explosive frag round reduced blast radius from 7 meters to 6 meters, increased minimum time before explosion after firing from 0.3 seconds to 0.75 seconds. So you're going to get a little bit more time with the high explosive. Now we have some bug fixes. They removed the delay before being able to fire primary and secondary again after deploying a gadget or throwing a grenade. They changed the Madsen shell eject VFX to the bottom, which is the correct position. Fixed too high reload threshold on the Lewis MG, which led to accidentally canceling reloads. Reduced reload times of auto-loading 8 extended to better match the animation. Fixed left recoil direction not working on the BAR 1918 telescopic. They fixed issues the Hellfighter trench gun having no visible iron sights in ADS. They fixed the reload animation for the auto-loading 8.25. They fixed the chevron reticle not showing up on the Guar 98 Marksman. And the 1906 factory, the auto-loading 8.35 factory, and Marksman now resupplied 10 bullets at a time. Now there's a whole bunch more. I'm going to skip through some of this and maybe see if I can't find something that pertains a little bit more to the PS4. Excuse me. They did some fixes for the maps. Another thing that comes with this is the custom servers. We can now rent servers, which is always a good thing. It doesn't look like there's too many fixes for the PS4. It says they fixed an issue where joining on a friend that is already in the same party and on the same server would result in the player being stuck in a hang state. And they fixed the decorated trophy not being awarded correctly. Those seem like to be, those are the two main that they fixed just for the PS4. As far as Xbox goes, you got a few more. It says they fixed an issue where a bad rep player is not taken into party and the game card disappears from Comm Center after accepting a party invite. They also fix for bad reputation users being able to communicate with non-friend users when in the same squad in online modes. Fix for a crash to the Xbox home screen after attempting to join a game session via the Xbox One guide whilst the title is suspended on the main menu. And they fixed an issue where users could get stuck in an endless loading loop when attempting to return to the main menu from the campaign screen following the Xbox profile sign-in change during suspended state. Now those are just some of the fixes, and I think they're doing a pretty good job as far as trying to get everything balanced and whatnot. But like I said, there's always going to be issues with a game like this because there's always going to be certain guns that people will gravitate towards. And they'll always have a gun that will be considered overpowered or, in my opinion, overused. I mean, as long as it's not glitched or something, and everybody should remember the Dart, the M26 Dart from Battlefield 3, that was glitched and that was overpowered. But these are just these are all seem fairly balanced for the most part. And then there just happens to be some that everybody likes to use. Some of my issues that I've had with the game so far. All right, I think the pistols, in my opinion, are just a little too strong. I mean, when you have a primary that can't outgun a pistol, that's not really saying too much about people's aim. It's more about this gun is just a little bit too, what's the word I'm looking for? A little too effective, in my opinion. And, you know, everybody's got their own opinions, and that's the beauty of the world is you're allowed to have your own opinions. Another thing that I have an issue with is the disappearing bags, whether it's the med kit or it's the ammo bag. Sometimes when you throw it on the ground, it just disappears. That's just a collision issue, and that's something that needs to get worked out. It seems like anytime you put either one of the bags or if you put it on an incline, it'll just fall through the map and it'll be gone. Our clan has always been a big knifing clan, and the knifing in this game seems a bit sketchy at times, where you can be right behind the person, and you can't get a knife kill. It just won't let you. It'll just let you swipe and swipe and swipe. Anytime you're behind someone, in my opinion, again, it should be a one-shot knife kill. You should be automatically taking their tags if you're behind them. And it could have something to do with the latency, and it could have something to do with out-of-region players, or maybe they have a bad connection or you have a bad connection, and they're not exactly at the place that it shows on your screen, but at the same time, it just seems like it is way more sketchy than any other Battlefield that I've ever played. The grenades have... sometimes the little icon doesn't show up, and that can be annoying. If it was hardcore, I can see maybe the icon not showing up, but when you're playing just a regular Conquest like I usually play, and you get killed by a grenade, but there was no grenade icon, that is so infuriating. But as far as they go, I think some of the grenades are, the blast radius is just a little too big, and maybe that has something to do with the icon not showing up. But it seems at times when you're far enough away from that grenade, it'll still blow up and kill you. The gas grenade, I understand, as one of my buddies pointed out, that it was a big item in the World War One. The gas grenades were huge, but at the same time, I think that plume is either too big or it just stays around too long. There's something with the gas grenade that needs to be balanced a little bit. I understand you can throw on the gas mask, and that's fine. But with like even the incendiary grenade, you can lay down to put yourself out, and the incendiary grenade seems fine. This seems like there should be the same between them both, where the incendiary grenade doesn't have a huge blast radius, but if you run through, you still get that burning effect. Well, with the gas, you still get that gas effect even after you run through. So you have the balance there. Why does it have to be like a bigger area and stay longer? I think it should just be tweaked a little bit. Um, when you get revived, nothing makes me more upset when you get revived and you cannot shoot your gun. I mean, this is, I don't know how many times we're going to have this in a Battlefield game. If you get revived, why is your gun jammed? Why can you not use it? Why do you have to hit triangle and then switch back? This is just a bug that needs to get fixed. The vehicle spawns seem to be glitched a bit, where one side, I don't know if they try to balance it because if you're winning, your vehicles don't spawn, or if it's just a certain side that does it. But either way, I've noticed that when you're sitting there waiting on a tank and there's no tanks out there, they just never spawn. And this is probably as far as I'm going to get today, so you guys have a good one.